So welcome back to another 5 on Friday. 5 on Friday, number 11. So if you don't know what 5 on Friday is, it is my weekly roundup of all my favorite things from the past week that I want to share with you, people on YouTube. The first item I want to share with you is Book of Life, which is an animated movie that is in Mexico, and it has the backdrop of Dias de los Muertos, which is very apropos. This past week we had that holiday, so I decided to watch this movie that I had never heard of or seen, and I thought it was great. The story was a little bit predictable, a little bit formulaic, but it was really heartfelt. It gave me the feels. I definitely cried in the end. But the things that stood out for me were, one, that the animation itself was gorgeous. It was really inventive. It had a wooden feel to it, which makes sense in the context of the movie. The colors were amazing. The costuming in an animated film, you really have an unlimited budget, but it was just so beautifully done. The other thing that stands out to me is, if you don't know, and you don't go to my blog, I had a blog post about my continuing quest in the world of genealogy, and I am of Mexican descent, so I have been looking into my Mexican ancestry. So the themes, the stories of this movie, the importance of family and remembering your ancestors really spoke to me. It made me happy because I'm getting to know my ancestors through my research, and now I'm giving them the chance to live on in the land of the remembered. And I think that is a pretty nice thought to think about in this world that's full of sometimes not so nice thoughts. The next item I want to share with you is the recent announcement from Twitch about their creative tags. So if you don't know anything about Twitch, it is a streaming platform that is specifically focused on gaming. I have thought about doing Twitch, having my own Twitch channel, because I do have a gaming YouTube channel called The Maybe Show. So I thought, maybe I could do that. But a lot of the games I do, I actually just do them, and most of it already goes on YouTube. So I was like, is this really worth it? But this past week, Twitch announced that they were going to be supporting the creative tag. So they'll have gaming and they'll have creative. And the creative is exactly my cup of tea. So if you've looked at my blog at all and you've looked at this YouTube channel, you know that I love being creative. I love doing kinds of crafty things. I hope to do cosplay things. I love to cook. I do like basically any creative thing except for art, like painting and stuff. I'm not good at that, but I hope to someday learn how to do that. Fingers crossed, right? But all that stuff is stuff they want you to do on Twitch using the creative tag. So I am super excited because now I'm all in. I am going to do Twitch stuff. I am going to be on there. Hopefully, I have to just get myself set up for that. And all the information is in their Twitch announcement and their new rules of conduct. So I will leave a link to that in the description box in case you are thinking of becoming creative on Twitch as well. And to celebrate all that, they have had a streaming Bob Ross marathon on Twitch for days and days and days and days, and it's always got like at least 50,000 people watching it at a time, and he's just such a soothing man with his happy little trees. And I admit that when I was writing the post for this video, I might have just been listening to a little bit of Bob Ross in the background. So definitely check out Twitch and definitely check out their new creative endeavors. So speaking of video games, my next item is a video game, and it is Fallout. The Fallout series has been ongoing, I don't know, for like 20 years or something? I don't know. I don't really know anything about the first couple of games. I did play Fallout 3, although it's real glitchy on my computer because I played it much later than it came out, so I haven't been able to play it all the way through. I have played Fallout New Vegas, and that is currently the one that I have been playing, and I actually do not play that for my channel, so maybe I lied in my last little item, because that is a game that I don't normally play for my channel because it's so big and crazy, and it would be too much to put up on YouTube. But anyways, Fallout 4 comes out next week, so if you want to get hyped for Fallout 4 like I do, you can play the last one. It's only $20 on Steam right now, so check it out. It is a large scale role-playing game in which you get quests to do. You make choices about being good and evil. What you do sort of affects how the game ends up. I think it's really interesting. I like the post-apocalyptic setting that it has going on. The first one I played, Fallout 3, was set in Washington, D.C. The one I'm playing right now is obviously in Vegas, but Fallout 4 is set in New England, and I live in New England, so I am real excited. I've never seen any post-apocalyptic things in New England, so I am very excited to see what Fallout 4 does. So you'll probably hear lots of hype about it this next week, but I'm telling you now, it's going to be a great game. So check it out when it comes out. The next thing I want to talk about is something I just came upon on Netflix. It is the Walt Disney Animation Studios short films collection. And basically it is just what it says. It's a collection of their animated shorts that they've done over the past, I don't even know how many years. It's not all of them, I don't think, but it's a good selection of them. It has the actual film itself, and it has the animators and directors and all the creative team behind it. Well, not every single person in the creative team, but some of the creative team members behind each short, talking about them, how it relates to films, actually animated films that came out. This is a great thing to watch because you really get to see the animators talk about something they love, all the work they put into these short films that are never really going to get a huge wide release and be well known. They're all right here for us to see, and there were two that were simply standouts to me. There's one called Paper Man, which I love the style, sort of the drawn look to it, which is weird in CG. It doesn't always have a drawn look. It has very computer animated look. Other one I really loved was called Feast, which I loved more. I mean, it was beautifully done, but I loved it for its story and the subject matter. But both were beautifully animated and really touching, cute stories. So one of the really interesting things about a lot of these films, I think all the ones that I saw, I didn't watch them all, was that it was not dialogue driven. It was all music and visuals, which is just a really interesting way to make a film. And I really appreciated it, and I definitely think you should watch this, which is on Netflix right now. So check it out. The last thing I want to mention is a TED Talk. And now I have watched TED Talks for years, and I love them. So periodically, I think I'm going to try to mention some of my favorites on this series. One I saw recently that I really love is by a man named Colin Stokes, who is the Director of Communications for Citizens School here in Massachusetts, and his talk was called How Movies Teach Manhood. He discussed all kinds of things in his talk. He talked about Star Wars, he talked about The Wizard of Oz, he talked about Disney princesses and the Bechdel test, and how all these types of media influence our children and shape, in some ways, the way they grow up and the way they're socialized. Specifically, he talked a lot about boys in the way they learn how to treat people of their own gender and people of the opposite gender. I just thought it was really interesting, and I will consider some of his points while I watch movies. And I think it's pretty cool. It's 12 or 13 minutes, and I think it is worth every minute. He has a very dry sense of humor, and I think it was just a pretty interesting thing to watch. And you might have just heard a dog bark outside. I don't know. That's what happens when you live with people around you. They're animals. But anyways, that was my last favorite from this past week. I hope you like this video and you are liking this series. I have spent the last couple of days planning out a huge, big schedule, ambitious schedule for November, the rest of November and December. So I'm going to have a lot of really cool videos coming up that I hope you come back for, and the 5 on Friday will be continuing every week for the foreseeable future because I really like filming these. If you want to see all the details about these particular picks, they are in the description box below, and they are also in the blog post, which will be linked below as well. And I will also have a link to previous blog posts and previous videos in that description box. It is a magical place where you're going to find all kinds of cool things to look at. So thank you once again for watching this video. I hope you come back for the next one. Bye!